Welcome to this Scourge of War Waterloo basic controls tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to deal primarily with a brigade of infantry, but first I will be delving into a few little items that you probably really need to know. Anyway, let's just get started. Now for these purposes I'm going to use a specific sandbox game that I've already got set up. So let's just launch into it. Okay, so here we are in the battle. So let's just move this up here. That never stays there. Whenever you start, it always moves back to the default position. Just very briefly, you can see we've got a brigade of 4 regiments. But first of all, before we delve into that, I just want to go over a couple of quick things, and it's just going to be on the menu button. You can always press escape to bring this up. Now you can, for this first one, press the question mark on many of the screens that do come up with it, or F1 at any time, and you get this screen of information, and you can click on any of these and get more details. So keyboard commands, for instance, we've got a whole list of the keyboard commands and what they do. The other thing I want to go over, and you can set this up in the options first of all, you don't have to come straight into a battle. Again, we'll go into menu, options. Now this is on tab 3 of the options menu, and it's to do with the camera speed that I want to talk about, because it does move rather slowly. Just let me close this and just show you. As you can see, we are almost going very slowly, and if you've got a very large force it is rather tedious. Now you can change that. Going to menu again, options, and you've got camera speed forward, backwards, camera speed right and left. I'm going to move that from 30 all the way to 100. I'm quite happy with the camera speed going up and down and the rotation speed. So just close that, and you can immediately see that we are moving a lot faster. Let's go through some more of these commands here. We hit map, or M, brings up the map of the battlefield, and you can see our position down here. You can see there's Picton moving, and the eyeball here is our current location of the camera. You've also got the units are also denoted down here. Now you can see there is 1, 2, 3 objectives. If you wanted to go to a particular place, you could just left click and you can see the eyeball has now moved. And here we are. Now to return to your commanding officer, rather than going to the map and pressing the key, etc., you can just hit this hat button, and here we are back. Right, so let's go through some basic commands. So what we're going to do is, if we right click here, you can see that we've got well, it's not very easily visible because it's so far away, but we've got a green arrow pointing towards the road, and we get this little context menu. Now you can build up a series of commands by right clicking them, and I've just lost it, so let me do that again. So what I want to do is, I want all of the brigade to arrive in column formation, and I want them all to move as quickly as possible. Now with the envelope, I'll issue the command, and you can see there's a courier running to each of the regiments, Now up here we have this command toolbar, and you can see we've got infantry highlighted, but we can click on cavalry, artillery, specific commands. Let's go back to infantry. Now the important ones really are the wheel and the move left and right. So if we click the right flank button, you'll notice the whole of the brigade moves to one side. We click this way. Now I don't know whether the wheel is actually bugged or not, but let's just wait for my commander to get there. As you can see, only the commander is turning when I press the wheel button. Now there are several commands here, so let's just go through these. There are movement orders, so that your units actually travel forwards a certain distance. So I'd use the 100 yards. You can see the couriers going to each of the regiments. Then you might say, why is this at an odd angle? And that's because I didn't straighten up the commander using the wheel commands. Now on here also you've got the resupply button, you've got the assault lines forward, but you've also got this assault lines in column. So let's just click on this button, see what happens. You might give an order to the whole brigade and you get these little green markers showing where they're going to be positioned. And then you decide to change the position, and a new set of couriers goes off to inform the regiments. But these will stay the same, and they will only change to the new positions when the courier has arrived and given the orders to the regiment. So let's just do that now. So what I'm going to do is order there, use the context key and issue the order. The orders go off, and as you can see the positions are starting to build up as the regiments receive their information. I'm now going to give the command to move forward 100. As you can see, the couriers go off, but these still maintain position. But now as the regiments receive their orders, you can see they've got their new positions highlighted. Now one thing of interest is these little information boxes down here. Over here on the left hand side you've got the time of day, you've got a compass showing you which way your camera is facing, and the type of terrain the unit you've got highlighted is on. At the moment we're with our Major General Sir James Kempt. If I clicked on one of the regiments, you can see that changes, plus we get a different type of toolbar, which I'll shuffle up there for a moment. Go back to our commander. Now these are rather too small as far as I'm concerned, but these are sort of information buttons on the current situation for this unit. So you've got things, as it says here, visible to enemy, commander bonus, defensive terrain bonus, and unit rallying. And when they're highlighted, that means that they are active. You can't activate them yourself. Down here we've got the number of troops that we have and the casualties we've maintained, our rating so far in the battle, and the number of enemy casualties. Now this changes slightly if you click on a regiment. You can see now we've got morale, we've got the sort of fatigue level, the amount of ammunition they have, their state, which is resting, the number of men in this regiment, and I'm set at a sprite ratio of 6:1. You can see we've got the additional little icons up here, which I'm not going to go through, but as I said, they highlight up when they are active. Okay, so let's just go quickly through the other commands down here, and now we'll work our way across. We've already been through the menu and the map. The C down here is courier, and you can see you've got the little question mark that I'd mentioned earlier. We just click on that and we get the help index. We've got 3 little envelopes. The one with the plus above it means we can construct a message. Now the other 2 envelopes, this one down here gives a list of all the dispatches that we've sent. So we just highlight one and do a show message. Always click on that the wrong way round. Get courier up again. And the envelope here is for messages that you've received. And this can obviously be helpful if a senior commander has issued instructions to you, but you can't remember what they said. So you can just pull it up and have a look. So the S down here, this gives a status on our current unit that we've highlighted. The font is very small, plus also, although it doesn't really show so much here, although the T is missing, which is quite good in a way because it does show an example of what I'm trying to say. Some information is dropped off because it's too narrow. Be nice if you could expand it a little bit, but we've never had that before anyway. But as I say, the actual font size is very small. Now down here we've got these 4 green arrows, and you can see them over here on the command menu as well. And let's just touch on that very briefly. This allows movement to units within the OOB, or order of battle. To effectively see that, we'll use the upward arrow, which will take us to our next superior, which is Picton, as you can see mentioned down here, and the next one up, which will be Wellington, and then we can just go downwards as far as we want. Okay, the OOB button, this opens up the OOB for our particular battle. We can click on any of the units and say go to selected unit, and we're there. Go to me, we'll just we'll just highlight yourself as the commander. Okay, so now onto the W. As you can see, for the commanding officer, it just says Major General Sir James Kempt, India Pattern Britain 75 caliber musket. Not very much really nice information, so let's just click on one of the units and do W again, and this is a little bit better. So it's describing what the unit is. They've got a Baker rifle, 62 caliber rifle, the ammunition, the optimum range, the maximum range, and the reload time. Okay, so over on here we've got several little commands related to the brigade commander. There's the go to me, as we've already seen, and we've already seen the let's highlight the commander again, and we've already seen the OOB movement as well. this button, this is go to selected unit, which is just fairly close to the go to me, but it could be for any of the units. So you go off into a distance, just say go to me, and you're back with them. Okay, F, follow. Now this is a little bit different. You can press this button or you can press the F key, but I'm going to press this button to sort of show it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on this regiment, and I'm going to tell them to move here. Now I press the F key, and you can see we are now with the unit moving. But you can see as I'm trying to turn, it won't let me go up, it won't let me go up or anything. So if I wanted to look round, I press the F key again, and now I can look around. Press the F key again, and I'm out of that mode. Now this is not headquarters in the saddle. Headquarters in the saddle is to do with the distance away from the unit you can be, and that is set up. Let's bring it up. Now you can set it up here. It's at the moment set 0, so you can go anywhere on the map, but you can set it up to whatever distance you want from your command unit. This doesn't really work in this mode within a battle. You have to actually come out and then start a new one. So it's best to, if you want to use this, it's best to only set that up in the options before you enter a battle. Now, whoops, the other thing I want to show you is moving by road. So let's just do a simple one. So first of all, I've got my brigade commander highlighted. You can of course do this for individual regiments if you want. I right click where I want to be. Context menu comes up. Now I'm going to right click to say column, and this arrow with the lines on either side, use the roads, double click, and now I'm going to issue that command. Now you can see we're moving off at a brisk pace, and the regiments are starting to turn and maneuver to start to use the road. Now, why would you use this? If we are here and we want to get to Chateau de Timpco, I apologise if I've mispronounced that, why not just go straight there? And you can do that, and it probably will take you less time. But the reason why you use the roads is because the troops, when they arrive there, will be fresher than if you go across country. So even though it's a longer distance, because it's roads, there's no obstructions, there's no moving through different types of terrains, it's just easier for them to do. They arrive fresher. Right, so what we're going to do now is look at the regiment specific commands. And the first one we're going to do is quite basically moving forwards. So we'll just do the 100 yard. You can see because you've got to remember, even though you're highlighted here, this is you. I didn't go very far, did it? better. So first of all, we're going to cover this little toolbar here. So we want to move slightly to the right flank. Left flank. And now here we've got some combat specific commands. We've got fallback when engaged, advance when engaged, select unit to guard. Now this is quite an interesting little one, so let me just reposition the commander to over here. Now I'm going to use this unit. So I'm going to issue the command to select unit to guard, such as press on that button, courier comes off, and the thing to watch is the pointer. As you can see, the pointer has now changed, and I right click on the flag. Now everything to do with units is the flag. You always press the flag, you don't press any of the men or anything. So I just do that. And the courier comes along. And you can see that unit is now going to maneuver into this position to protect this unit. But it is not a fixed guard unit, so if I move this commander, that unit will not move with the commander. You'd have to reissue another guard command. Okay, so back to our regiment. So here we've got a split battalion command. So let's first of all maneuver into a line position. You can see the courier coming across. Now this is more or less to do with skirmish formations. So if we press the split battalion, we've got two choices. We can do it by percentage or number of men. Now it should be noted that the number of men down here you can see is 712, but as I said earlier, I've got a sprite ratio of 1 sprite represents 6 men. So let's choose 100 men. You can see the additional flag has been set up. It can be a little bit slow to start doing this. Now if I want to do this again, I click on the main regiment unit, and this is the way you've got to think of it. This is the main regiment unit. This is just a unit that's been split off from it. So I could issue another split battalion. Say I want another 100 men. Now we can issue commands to these units as normal, but if you notice that this set of commands are not available. And this is the square, the line, the column, and the column by division. Let's just move them 100 yards forward. So the next thing is, how can you rejoin one of these split units back into your main regiment. Now if you notice, this split battalion command has now become an unsplit, and that's because I've got the unit highlighted. If I have the main regiment highlighted, it's a split battalion. So unsplit, the order goes out, and we'll send that one similar order to the other unit as well. Okay, so let's go through some more commands down here. Volley fire, resupply, retreat, charge. Obviously these can only be done when you are engaged in combat. Use roads, halt, double quick, take charge from the AI, so I could then become the commander of this regiment. We've already looked at the moving forwards. Lie down, so let's just hit lie down just to see the courier coming across. And you can see they're all lying down, and you can see that this icon has now changed and the arrow's pointing upwards, and it says rise up, so let's do that. Now the next one is about face, so let's issue that. You can see they turned very quickly. You can see they returned very quickly. Okay, it wasn't very smooth, but they didn't sort of have to swing round and go on to opposite sides. It's very quick. It's more or less just turning around. So we've got the square formation. And of course it doesn't look that great because I do have a small number of sprites. We've already seen the line and we've seen the column, and you can also do column by divisions. Again, I'm rather late with the do it quickly. Okay, so let's return to the line formation. Now the next ones for us to look at are these bottom commands. First of all, we've got wheel left, and you can see that the point of the turn is the center. Wheel right. Then we've got oblique left, and you can see a courier is coming out to issue that command. So I'm not too sure whether these are slightly bugged and they should be getting courier commands as well. See that it's slightly moved forwards and towards the left, and the same will go for the oblique right. Now these last four down here are a little bit funnier, for me anyway, in terms of the naming convention. Wheel right forwards, and you can see that the dots are coming off from the left, but this is wheel right forwards. As you can see, this was the pivot point this time, and they moved on the left hand side forwards, and here it's wheel left forwards. You can see this is the pivot point, and they're moving forwards on the right. So I don't know if there's something funny about the way that's set up, or it's accepted military terminology for this specific maneuver. What's useful, I can see, is also this wheel right back. And wheel left back. Okay, so that's it really for brigade and regiment basic commands. I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching.